This is a first for me. Says by Moki Indians. There's one here. Of course, that. And on this one that some bad person tried to steal. I know in the 80s and 90s there was a lot of theft of this kind of stuff. So we got up to the next location. I was wondering where it is. It's called the 100 Hands. In order to get up there, you have to hike around this big knob, assuming that you can get up to where these trees are on the other side, and then scramble up that, and then in this little crack here, work your way over, hugging the wall, crouching down, and somehow they had mud with them, I guess. This right here, and that, and that, from the 70s, 80s, back into the 40s. I'd say that's the end of the line for me. I guess you wonder why people carved those images into the sandstone hundreds or thousands of years ago. Maybe it was for no other reason than the same reason that graffiti artists do their thing. I was perfectly content sitting here looking at the surroundings, enjoying the beauty. And then I realized that there's this mass looming over my head. And one of the things that makes this area so beautiful is that this sandstone, in its many colors, is soft. Like, wow, it's much softer than I expected it to be. Look at that. That's this stone that's over my head. Millions of tons. So, I'm sitting here thinking, oh, I could just kind of curl up, take a nap, and be very comfortable. Then I realized that this stuff falls, doesn't it? It's just constantly deteriorating. And it could do that at any moment. So I may as well move on, instead of letting it get me while I'm here. But this stone is just so soft. Look at this. This is like beach sand. Probably not very safe. This is called a shaman. So you can see his wedge shape here, and then his head, and then antlers either side. Right next to Grant VT in 1948. And then over here, there's a bunch of arrows, downward facing arrows that go up the rock. There are petroglyphs all around. But then this stone, because it's sandstone and it fissures relatively easily, and it gets washed away by water and time, you wonder how many petroglyphs are lost and have become dust that's been carried off to other locations. What other evidence of earlier civilizations is missing from our timeline because it's been washed away? I see these petroglyphs and start to wonder, were these people any different than we were? Of course, they were different in the way they lived, and certainly in the way that they looked at life. But when they chose a location, more often than not, it was in an area that could be seen by others. And how different is that from the graffiti artists of today? Of course, you could say that they were doing it for more practical reasons at that time. They wanted to indicate to others that this was maybe a good hunting site. They got a lot of deer, or in other areas, buffalo, or that maybe it has some spiritual significance. But I think that humanity now is similar to humanity then, and that we probably do things for much the same reasons now as we did then, but we have different materials and different technologies that we use. I certainly hold the petroglyphs in higher esteem than I do the initial carvings of the 1800s to present day, but 1,000, 2,000 years from now, if these were still preserved, which is questionable given that they're carved into sandstone that is highly susceptible to erosion, water, wind, heat, and cold change. But if they were, I would think that those modern petroglyphs, J loves L with a heart around it and so on, those would probably be of equal interest to the archaeologists of the future. Wouldn't you think? Maybe not as aesthetic, maybe far more simplistic, maybe using symbols that would still be used 1,000 years from now, Arabic numerals. How much different were they from us in their mindset, what they wanted in their lives? I think they were similar.
I can't even see your feet.
Okay.
What did we do?
We went across the water, the stream. The stream was different.
It came from right there.